What's good, guys? Welcome to another episode of my YouTube channel. Y'all know beside the updates, beside the news, I also like to bring topics that I can get my humble opinion about. And in this case, I will give my humble opinion about a very controversial topic that a lot of brothers, a lot of people in social media speak about, and is Pastor Bros are stealing Colombian women from Colombian men. Let's speak about this video and let's jump in this. So fellas, this could be a very controversial topic because I know a lot of people, a lot of brothers, they gonna feel some type of way after they see this video. And I think that the Colombian guy, myself, every time I sit down in this shirt with this background, I always trying to speak the facts, the reality, what it is. And a lot of brothers, they felt some type of way because they get mad, they start like hating. And I guess it's because I'm saying the truth, because there is a very popular word in Colombia that say that true hurts in the face, and it equal hurts, because a lot of brothers, they identify with words or with situation that I've been exposing on my channel. They feel some type of way, you know what I mean? And I guess some of the brothers, and I call you guys brothers because at the end of the day, we are black. A lot of my viewers, which is I consider also my family too, and they from the United States, they're from the UK. But at the end of the day, we just black, and black, it's just one race. You know what I mean? Everywhere you go, just have different language, different cultures, and we're born in different countries, but we are all black. You know what I mean? And the reason why I'm saying this is because sometimes, I get these type of comments sometimes on the channel that people say, oh, we are not your brothers, all of that. But at the end of the day, I don't care. Like I say, this could be a really difficult, tricky topic for people who don't know, and who they take these YouTubers from Timu that they very popular, because a lot of brothers, that's what they like to hear, the caps, people capping all the time on social media, and trying to sell, Colombia as a paradise, which is a paradise. Depends what you do, it depends what you are, and depends what you're doing, you know what I mean? And they be capping on social media and say, oh, Colombian men, American men are selling Colombian women, this and that, and many other things. And let me tell you guys, this ain't the situation, because I feel happy the way how I grew up in Colombia. I feel happy the way the kind of advice that my uncle gave me, the guy that my father gave me, how to be, in things with love, all of that. And I think Colombia is a very unique country on that. There is like a few countries in the world that can operate in the love way like we do. And I won't tell you why. You just gotta come and see this by yourself. A lot of these women that brothers, are dating or are hanging out in Colombia, they either were or they still are working girls. The reason why I'm saying this is because if you go to George Park in Medellin, if you go to the tower, all you will see is a lot of brothers hanging out with girls. And thinking about that, doing maths in cities like Medellin and Cartagena. Medellin is a city who has like almost 4 or 5 million people. Cartagena is only 1 million people. And in Colombia, we have like almost 60 million people. So doing maths, in those countries, we have like almost 6 million people. In those cities, we have almost 6 million people. And you still have to count like almost 54 million people in the rest of the country. You know what I mean? And what I'm trying to say with this is like there is no way that brothers are selling our women in town, because at the end of the day, they are not our women, and they are nobody's women. It's just your turn, and you gotta enjoy as much as you can. A lot of brothers, behind the screen, and those who've been to Colombia, and those who are planning to Colombia, and those who are in a relationship with Colombian women, they take it too personal, which is something great. That's something that I really would respect about American brothers all my life, because they think, and I felt that in American culture, the couples, they take the love really serious, and that's something that we don't do in town. And before I was thinking like getting married in Colombia was expensive, and ain't like that. But in the Colombian culture, the young people and the old generation, they don't like to get married. They don't like to get married, and that's something that I respect from American culture, because if they are in a relationship, they thinking on getting married right away, and that's something that I really respect. In the Colombian culture, ain't like that. People go with the flow. Those romans don't belong to you. They are not yours. This is just your turn, and you gotta enjoy as much as you can. And same thing with the man. They just go with the flow. If it happens, it happens. If you don't, it don't. And if it hurts. But it's gonna heal one day. One day it's gonna go away. You know what I mean? And this is the way how we operate in town. And a lot of brothers, they also see us Colombian men like as a threat for the women or so, and ain't like that. You know what I mean? Well, they see that as a threat in general. You know what I mean? And ain't like that, because I think if you are smart, the best way to connect you with a good woman in Colombia is either through a local guy that know you, or either a local woman. They can connect you with a good woman, good feelings. And because if you try to do that by yourself, I mean, you can do that, but it's gonna be harder. At the beginning, you're gonna have some really bad experience that I had so many that I can speak about on the channel, but I don't have time for that. I'm just focused on this topic. But like I say, if you try to do that way, it's gonna be harder, but maybe you're gonna get into your goal. And like I say, I want to clarify that as a man, as a Colombian man, I'm born and raised in Cartagena, Colombia, so I'm from the hood. I'm around guys all the time. I have friends who they are okay with the woman selling the slice of pizza at the clock tower, and they come back home and they with them, because a lot of these women, a lot of these working ones who are at Gerald Spar, who are at the clock tower, the ones who require you $500 to spend the night with you, those are the same ones who come to the hood and they take care the men's. I know cases of women getting cars for these men in the hood that they not doing nothing, and you have more money than they, and you can have her for a little bit, but they don't belong to you and to no one, not even to that guy that they taking care of at that time. But the guy, is enjoying the moment and taking advantage, because at the end of the day, they're from low resources. So if he's able to get a car or a motorcycle, he would get it, and he don't care. They don't care about that. They don't care about that. And a lot of these women, in the parties in the hood, they've been crying for these guys, those who don't have the money to offer, because a lot of the brothers, of course, like they have more money than us, which is great, awesome. Money can help you to feel a lot of things, but money is not enough. What I want to clarify is, like, when the woman don't like you, you can take care of her as much as you can, but she will never be yours. She always will have somebody who's gonna be taking care of her once you leave the town. You know what I mean? So the reason why I decided to make this video is to clarify, because there is a lot of brothers on social media that they stay hating on Colombian men. I mean, this is our country, and we don't care about brothers coming here and having a great time with the women, because we do know what's up. We do know what's up. They can be copying on us. They can be lying on us, because we do know what's the game. All these women at Gerald Spar and the clock tower, all these women have a boy, have a guy. who is taking care of them once the man is not in town. You know what I mean? And for you to tell me, Colombian women, they can send all the single men who are in America to Colombia, and I will guarantee that not all of them will get women here. Not all of them. Because there is cities who say, I'm not ready for Americans to visit. Colombia is big. Colombia is not just the Cloud Tower and Jurassic Park, which is the place that a lot of brothers hang out with the girls. You know what I mean? Colombia, we have all the cities, Cali, Barranquilla, all the cities. It's going to be harder for you to navigate because in a lot of those cities, they don't speak English. It's going to be hard to find somebody who speaks English in those cities. You know what I mean? There is some crazy one who reads themselves. I've been seeing guys going to the jungle just to get a submissive woman in Colombia, which is crazy because in the Colombian culture, we barely do that. You know what I mean? We ain't risking our life for a slice of pizza because you can find that in every corner in Colombia. Very beautiful and amazing woman, fellas. I want to clarify and I want to be clear that I have nothing against brothers. I want all the brothers to find good women in Colombia because I know sometimes it could be hard in your home country, especially after you broke up with a girl, you divorced, all of that. I want them to have a great time, but I can agree with things like that because at the end of the day, this is my country. And when somebody is speaking fake, speaking something that is not true, I gotta step up and talk and represent the people from my country because that's how we do. We go with the flow. I think few cultures in the world can be like us, in things we love in dating. Because we have something, that there is something called machismo in the country. And if you can Google it, you're going to learn about how we are like, how a lot of guys in Colombia, they very good in these things we love. Because a lot of women, what they like sometimes is tough guys. And when you're tough, that's what they like it. A lot of these women, they don't want, somebody clumsy, all of that. And that's what they like. You know what I mean? That's what they like. And that's something that you can compete with because that's something that is in our culture. You know what I mean? So, fellas, this is the current situation. Remember, this is just on a video. Don't take it personal. This is just content. Don't hate on the Colombian guy, Don't do that because at the end of the day, for you guys get involved with the Colombian culture, with the Colombian immense, with the right ones hanging out with the good people, they can connect you with good women. But if you see that as a competitor in our home country, in our own country, now I think the person that is wrong needs to stop. See you soon, guys, on the next video. This was Carlos, the Colombian guy, and that's it.